Hey, it's your man Andrew. Welcome back to you. And today I'm going to be doing a list of my all-time top 25 favorite movies. Now, these are in numerical order from least favorite of number 25 to number 1. Now, I have mentioned my favorite movie before in a video. You will get big points if you are able to identify what my all-time favorite movie is before I mention it. These points are redeemable for absolutely nothing. However, you can collect and trade them with your fellow YouTubers. So that's definitely some points you're going to want to get, and you will receive 3.5 points. So keep that in mind. And this is going to be a video response to Jordan or Wavehead's video, his top 10 favorite movies, which he was inspired by Rob Pepper. So, you know, the chain goes on and on. Keep the conversation going, I like to say. And this is going to be Wood WWAD's, and it's not Woodwad, it's a Wood WWAD favorite movies top 25 list. And let's start with Requiem for a Dream. Love Jennifer Connelly. She's another one of my favorite movies on this top 10 list. And there's just a lot of great, interesting action in this movie. Marlon Wayans does a wonderful job as well. Number 24, UHF, which at times was a kid that was actually my vacillate, of course, as a child. Flipped from probably week to week, but at times UHF was my favorite movie as a child. I absolutely loved Michael Richards' character. It's a Weird Al Yankovic movie. I love Michael Richards' character in there. The creation of all these new shows they put together for the UHF channel. Michael Richards' character, Stanley Spadowski, fighting it with a mop. It's just a wonderfully fun movie. If you've never seen UHF, watch it. You won't regret it. It's quite fun. And Michael Richards really makes the movie. Also, they have a show in there called Conan the Librarian, and they have this guy dressed up like Conan, and he talks like an Arnold voice, and he's got like a two-handed sword, and someone comes up to him, and he's like at the reference desk, and they ask him a question where something is. He goes, "Don't you know you do decimal system?" And like lifts the guy up, and someone else comes up. They have like a late book. He's like, and he just cleaves him in half, and it shows him cut in half with his giant two-handed sword, and rightfully so, because you don't return books late. I have never had a late fee on anything in my entire life, unlike my wife, who gets them constantly. Very annoying to me. At number 3, the quintessential 80s teenage high school experience movie, and you all know this one, and how could you forget about it? It is The Breakfast Club. Absolutely a wonderful movie. A lot of those 80s did these movies well. The 90s, they sucked balls with these movies. There's no good ones in the 90s that I could think of. But there were so many of them. In fact, I had this list up to 35, and I was, quite a few of the different movies were contenders. But only The Breakfast Club will make the list. At number 22 will be Terminator. I'll be back. I do love Arnold Schwarzenegger. And he can bang all the maids he wants, have all the illegitimate kids he wants. Just make a goddamn King Conan movie. Just make a goddamn King Conan movie. That's all I ask, Arnold. Terminator 2, also very good. Doesn't make the list. 21, going to be American History X. A wonderful job by Edward Norton and Fairuza Balk. And she's a very weird actress because you have to film her from certain angles. She's absurdly hot from some angles and really not from others. Craft almost made my list. I love that movie when I was a teenager. But it didn't. Actually, it would have been number 26 on the list. Let's see. Memento in at number 20. If you have not seen Memento, rent it, download it, pirate it, do whatever you need to do to see Memento, because Memento, really an excellent movie about someone having this strange memory loss condition. I don't really want to give any spoilers on it at all, so just watch Memento. I know probably some people who are going to watch this video have not seen it, because it was a straight to video, excellent movie, excellent acting, really just a very interesting movie. Number 19 is going to be Borat, the best Ali G movie transfer. The Ali G movie was not that great. Watchable, but not that great. The Bruno movie, not anything special. But Borat really was a very, very funny movie. I really enjoyed that. The Baron Sacha Cohen movies, I think that's really the best thing he's done yet. And if you've ever seen the Ali G show, it is absolutely fantastically funny. And it's not that many episodes. I think they put it a lot across 2 seasons, but very, very, very short number of episodes. Let's see here. Next, we have The Beach, which I think is probably still my wife's favorite movie. Stars Leonardo DiCaprio and has wonderful scenes and sets. It probably was filmed in New Zealand because it's so beautiful there, but really great movie. I really don't want to spoil this one either, but watch The Beach if you haven't. I've seen it multiple times, and I do not watch very many movies multiple times. Quite a few on this list I have seen multiple times, though. Next is some biscuits and mustard. Sling Blade, Billy Bob Thornton. Really the role that made him into a star. Maybe that wasn't a good thing. But Sling Blade is a good thing. There's also a short film that preceded the movie that you can watch. It has a few differences. It's basically just Billy Bob Thornton is the same character, but it's just sort of in the insane asylum. I liked Sling Blade a lot, and if you haven't seen it, which you probably have, it received a lot of really good reviews. But if you haven't, definitely want to check. The next movie is Megamind. Megamind is the best comic book style supers movie I have ever seen, live action or animated. It's wonderful. It's Will Ferrell's best movie. I have watched it multiple times with my son. I absolutely love it. Talk about producing a face, a baby face, a character you have sympathy for. They build Megamind so wonderfully in this movie. The bad guy that everything falls in, and I always love that story arc in comic books where the bad guys had to be the one to raise up and do the right thing, and Megamind is not one to. But he's such a comical heel, and when he finally raises up, it is absolutely it's just wonderful. It is an absolutely wonderful movie. It is definitely, like most of the things on my list, a 5-star movie, and the best of its genre. So, well, you should certainly watch Megamind. Real tearjerker too. It's really just a wonderful movie. At number 15, Star Wars: A New Hope, and to me, A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back they run together a little bit. Return of the Jedi is very different. Of course, the newer 3 movies they made are just utter rubbish. Nice special effects, though, but just rubbish stories. The cantina scene alone definitely seals that movie into my top 15. A lot of great stuff there. I don't even know what to talk about or what needs to be talked about. You all know Star Wars, so, or as they call it now, A New Hope. It was Star Wars when I was a fucking kid. It's Star Wars. None of this New Hope nonsense. It's Star Wars. Number 14 was Kids. Really dark movie that's disturbing, and in some ways I don't know how they were able to do some of the scenes they did without being thrown in jail. The scene where the guy, I mean, I don't know, I think the kid's supposed to be 12 or 13 or something, rapes the girl that has AIDS and then getting AIDS because she's like passed out, and really dark stuff. A lot of stuff in that movie. The guy also made another movie called Bully. If you like kids, check Bully out. That was good too. Clerks is in at 13. Clerks, I did something I've never done with a movie before. Before I rented it, and when I rent a movie, I watch it once and I take it back and I'm done with it. I have a very good memory, and I just don't need to watch a movie again. I might watch it later down the line, and very few movies I watch more than once. But Clerks, I watched 3 times. I rented it the day it came out. It was a B movie, so, you know, I guess towards the beginning of people who saw it in the general public anyway. Wasn't out in the theater. But I watched it. Then I had my girlfriend over. I watched it with her. And I had some friends over, and I said, man, you guys, you know, like the next day, I said, man, you guys, hold on, we got to, let's not play some role-playing games right now, let's sit down. While you guys come to my room, let's sit down and watch Clerks. It's amazingly funny. It's slick, it's smooth, it syncs together very well. Clerks is great. Clerks 2 I thought was good. I thought Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back was good. Some of the other ones, not so good. Dogma I thought was just the drizzling monkey balls, and Mallrats and Chasing Amy. I like Mallrats better than Chasing Amy, I think. So, but Clerks, just absolutely wonderful movie. I mean, the character of Jay, I think Silent Bob is, but Jay is such a wonderful character. Sadness and Abuse hasn't really gotten more of a push, like gotten into more movies. He's really absolutely excellent. Number 12 is going to be Office Space. Mike Judge. It's really a great movie. They beat the shit out of a piece of office equipment that they hate. And anyone who has worked with any sort of equipment like that at a job has something that they just want to beat the living hell out of. And we did that when I managed a video store. That's part of the reason I've watched so many movies. I ran, not one, but two. I was the senior store manager for 2 stores. They kept trying to make me the district manager for the district, but it actually paid less with the amount of hours they wanted me to work, so I said no. Not once, but about 40 or 50 times. They kept trying to order me to do it, and I just was not going to do it. This is years ago. The start of my career, my early 20s. I was managing 2 video stores, and we had in the fax machine there. We just took it out one day and we just destroyed it. We beat me, the store manager, and all of my cashiers, and we just beat the living hell out of the fax machine that we had up there. We just had enough of that machine. Leap of Faith in at number 11, and there are 3 movies that have Marvin a Day or Meatloaf in them on my top 25. I am a big fan of Meatloaf. He was the I've seen a ton of bands in concert, and Meatloaf's performance was by far the best. I mean, it's like whoever number 2 is, and like Meatloaf way up here off camera, like, you know, vast difference. He did a wonderful job on the VH1 Storytellers tour, and a lot of you guys know I like the music loud. I like the metal, but you know, Meatloaf is a more rock opera guy. Great in concert, just wonderful in concert. I really can't say enough about him. And this is going to be the first one on the list. Meatloaf is in this movie. It's Steve Martin, my favorite Steve Martin movie. A lot of good Steve Martin movies. The only one that makes the list, though. It's really a touching movie, particularly for those that have life philosophies that are predicated upon belief. I can see it being, very endearing. The next on my list is Idiocracy, another Mike Judge movie. It's about someone who gets frozen and they're put into the future. And in the future, everyone is stupid as hell. And this guy's 100 IQ and he's the smartest person in the world. And they're doing things that are just unbelievably stupid, like not using water for crops. And they're basically facing the apocalypse of the human race because they're too stupid, you know. And they've been putting like basically sports drink out there for everything. They use it. Rondo! So what plants need? Well, what plants crave, whatever it is. Absolutely wonderful stuff. Their president, I can't think of the name of the guy. He's a really big built black actor. He's very underrated. He's always good in whatever he does. God, I can't think of his name. Should have looked that up before I did the video. But great. He plays the president. I forget his whole name. He has this absurdly long name. But part of his name is Mountain Dew. So I'm just going to call him Mountain Dew. And Mountain Dew is a former porn star, pro wrestler, monster truck driver, and now he's the president of the United States. And he's coming out in no way acting like what we see a president acting like, and it's absolutely wonderful. It's just a wonderful movie. I really can't say enough things about Idiocracy. Actually, I wanna watch that one again soon. Number 9 is going to be Legend, despite it having Tom Cruise, who's a terrible actor. Legend makes number 9 on the list. Tim Curry, who's another one of my favorite movies, and he plays Darkness. Such a wonderful job. The Goblins, the soundtrack by Tangerine Dream, absolutely wonderful. I particularly like the song Loved by the Sun, which is not Tangerine Dream, but the rest of the soundtrack is. They may have orchestrated the song or something, but there's vocals in it. Just really great. The unicorn, the green hag, a great way to place some things in it and to bite some parts of that off and to dump them into D&D games, and I'm sure thousands upon thousands upon thousands of game masters have bitten off pieces of Legend over the years and seasoned that into games. Number 8, Foxfire is the first Angelina Jolie movie I ever saw, and I fell in love with her. She is so amazingly beautiful in this movie, and maybe helped out by the fact that the other 3 female cast members are not very attractive. It has the girl who's like Angelina Jolie's lesbian lover, the Oriental one. I don't know her name, but she's in it. And the other 2 girls, I don't think either of them much came in their careers. But Angelina Jolie, she has short hair, and she just amazingly attractive. Right after that, I think she did this one, then she did Gia. But, well, actually, that's not true. The first time I ever saw her, I think, was in Meatloaf's Rock and Roll Dreams Come Through music video. But this is the first time I saw her in a I didn't make the correlation that it was the same person. First time I saw her in an actual movie, and you can see her better in this. And just amazingly beautiful. Absolutely amazingly beautiful. She's made some very bad choices in movies since then. You know, since those 2 are just amazing, and since then, I mean, not every one of her movies is unwatchable, but a lot of them are. Sadly, very, very sadly. She could have been so promising. She shows off some good acting ability in the movie. If you haven't seen Foxfire, it's called Female Rebellion, and very, very, very good. Number 7 is Forrest Gump, because stupid is as stupid does, and Forrest Gump is wonderful. Almost made the list too. My second favorite Tom Hanks movie. Castaway would be the number 3, but Forrest Gump is just absolutely amazing movie. I don't know how that can miss anyone's list. And preparing this list, I looked at a lot of top sites, and like I couldn't believe like the top movies from the 90s. Like some of these jabronis that put this together had like Sixth Sense and movies that are nowhere near as good as Forrest Gump, like way above them. I'm like, are you stupid? No, I just really couldn't find any accounting for that. Number 6 is going to be Army of Darkness. I had alluded to this in the previous video about the horror. The Army of Darkness, not really a horror movie, just wonderful. I had a case in a D&D game that I was running where one of the players started getting really flustered and confused and forgot what he was supposed to do, and is doing this ritual where he's summoning up this ancient evil, and he is in no way trying to duplicate the scene of Bruce Campbell's Ash with the Necronomicon, and he did it perfectly, and there's no way trying to. And he's getting more flustered and like more embarrassed because he keeps flubbing everything up, like he keeps screwing it up like over and over again. And then he keeps like trying to like it was just absolutely wonderful. Normally something like that would have just driven me to choke the player to death. But in this case it worked really well. It was really funny, and I kind of held my laughter and then just died laughing after the fact and cued the other player. And that was exactly the mirror to Army of Darkness, and the other 3 players, the other 2 players just died, and the one guy is still not real happy now. We're so really making fun of him, and rightfully so. But it was very, very funny. At number 5, a movie that did not get the accolades it deserved, and I'm very disgusted, was very angry about that. The best movie of the last decade. I'll let you guess what I think the best movie of the last decade we have just left is. It's The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke. The movie was amazing. It is so gritty, so real. The embarrassment that he shows, the attempting to cling on to faded glory, and then the final comeback, and you know at the end he hits the Rammer Jammer as Randy the Ram Rosinski hits the Rammer Jammer from the high advantage on Ernest the Cat Miller is playing the Sheik, and he dies. He has a heart attack because he can't do that, but he does. And I mean, the movie is just beautiful. I mean, it definitely made me cry. I loved The Wrestler. It's one of my favorites of all time, of course. A 5-star movie, 5 out of 5, 6 out of 5, maybe 7 out of 5. It's just a wonderful movie. The best movie of the last decade. The movie that was the best of the decade before that is the next one on the list, and that is a movie we're not going to talk about because you don't talk about Fight Club. But it does have Meatloaf in it. The next movie on the list, Conan the Barbarian. Now that's a no-brainer. You should have seen that one. It was going to be on the list at some point. The quintessential Dungeons and Dragons movie. It doesn't get any more D&D than Steel. And Steel is really the first thing we see to learn of the importance of steel. As James Earl Jones, the Stygian sorcerer, comes and they show Conan with a montage, wonderful montage of Conan getting big, fucking whores, wonderful stuff, love it. If you don't help me now, Crom, then the hell with you. Great stuff. I love Conan the Destroyer too. A lot of people hate on it. I love Conan the Destroyer. The only thing that makes me furious is at the end they say, let me do the Woojin voice, and there will be, and that is a tale for another time. As we see, Conan will have his own kingdom, or whatever he said. I think I actually just butchered that, but I was so looking forward to that. Like all through the 80s, I was like, God, I can't wait for that Conan 3 to come out. I can't wait for that Conan 3 to come out. I can't wait for that Conan 3 to come out. And apparently, with the script they did for Cult of Conquer was going to be Conan 3, so I guess I'm glad it didn't come out, because that was one of the biggest abortions of a horror movie, or a fantasy movie I've ever seen. Of course, Kevin Sorbo couldn't act his way. I mean, it's just sad, really, his acting abilities. And that's why you get a -1 in my game. You don't have a skill, and that man does not have any levels of acting at all. Just terrible. The worst action hero of all time. They take the best action hero of all time, Arnold Schwarzenegger. They get essentially the Conan role in Cult of Conqueror. Great soundtrack though, and great soundtracks for both of the Conan, the Barbarian movies. And I really had always wished that a book ended it with a trilogy of the King Conan. And he said he was going to have his own kingdom. So, I don't know. I guess the United States presidency is out of that for Arnold Schwarzenegger. And what I say is, yourself like 20 more maids, Arnold. Have all the bastard kids you want, because that's awesome. Arnold Schwarzenegger is awesome. And no one hate on him. Or you, in fact, are the balls. Number 2. It's the late night double feature picture show. That's right, the Rocky Horror Picture Show. I was in the live action casting for 3.5 years at the Narrow in Norfolk, Virginia, and we would get up and do the pantomime stuff in front of the screen while we played it, and people would do all the shouting and stuff, bring squirt guns, throw birdseed, toilet paper, cards for sorrow and pain. I loved getting up in the balcony if I didn't have an on stage part at the time, and just blasting people with my super soaker. I had this really just powerful super soaker. I just focusing on people, and getting up in the balcony and doing that to them was quite fun. I did a lot of different roles. I did Eddie and criminologist and just different stuff. It was a lot of fun to do, and of course, even more fun, there were a lot of hot girls in the cast, and we had one changing room, so yeah, that was a little perk too. Number 1, and at the beginning I said you can redeem for 3.5 Andrew trading points, which you can trade with your friends if you can determine what my favorite movie is. And if you have not pondered and pontificated upon that, pause the video, pause it now, and think, postulate upon what is my favorite movie. Well, I'll tell you this. It's only forever. It's not long at all. My favorite movie of all time is Labyrinth. Love the movie. Wonderful, wonderful soundtrack. David Bowie, an amazing voice, an amazing performer, a presenter of music. Just really an interesting individual. Great look. The guy, if we were in a fantasy world, people would be like, I don't think David Bowie's a human. He's got to have some kind of fae blood in him. He's got to have some kind of elf blood in him. He doesn't quite look like the rest of us. Not quite in his bizarre androgyny. And David Bowie, really a great actor. Very underrated actor. An amazing performer. He does a great job. Jennifer Connelly, utterly beautiful. Great job in the movie. And all the Jim Henson puppets, great. But it's the best thing Jim Henson ever did. All those puppets, Ludo smells bad, and the bog of stench, and just the whole thing is wonderful. Only part I don't like is where the guys pull their heads off. Those guys, the fungus people. I'd like to forget that one little scene. That's quite terrible. And the song there is bad too. But the rest of it, just an absolutely amazing movie, and I was able to watch a month and a half ago, maybe, with my son for the first time. I was able to get him to sit down and watch Labyrinth. We watched about half of it, and we went to Subway, got dinner, came back, watched the rest of it, and he watched the whole thing, and he really loved it. So, I'll probably watch it again with him. I absolutely love that movie. So that's my favorite of all time. And thanks for giving me the idea to go ahead and dig through and put these together, Jordan. So we'll be posting this as a video response, and I encourage anyone else to do the same, or just in my comments, leave if you want to text right in what your favorite movies are, or joke me for thinking my favorite movies suck, or whatever. That's always straight as well. Or questioning how could I have forgotten X, Y, and Z favorite movie.